At the center of Europe is a vibrant, beating green heart. Across the continent, forests flourish in every climate and on every terrain. They form some of the most intriguing, complex, and beautiful habitats on the planet. Habitats full of stories of powerful predators, remarkable adaptations, and fantastic behaviors. Sometimes it's hard to believe this is Europe. Welcome to the continent's surprising green heart. Europe's forests have ebbed and flowed over millennia. Wiped out in a mini ice age around 15,000 years ago. Today, trees cover over a third of the continent, almost from top to bottom. Mediterranean cork forests, Central Europe's great oak and beech woodlands, the evergreen taiga, just below the Arctic Circle. Europe's green heart is remarkably diverse and growing. 17,000 square kilometers of trees have sprung up in the last 20 years. Much of the continent's wildlife has evolved to capitalize on forests. It's no wonder Europe's biggest woodland beasts have made a stunning comeback. Life in Europe is governed by the seasons, by periods of boom and potential bust. Recovery in spring, plenty in summer, and preparation in autumn. In Europe's green heart, only the fittest and fattest survive. In southern Poland, winter is in its final throes. Snow has covered the Carpathian mountains for months. This vast mountain range arches 1,400 kilometers across Central Europe, from Poland in the west to Romania in the east. This is an area big enough to swallow Greece and Switzerland whole, and still have room for Belgium. It's a bastion of biodiversity that contains ancient forests of beech, oak, and pine. And half the continent's bears. Wolves, and lynx. As well as Europe's largest land mammal. Weighing up to a ton and nearly 2 meters tall, these beasts were hunted almost to extinction. Around 3,000 survive in the wild, making them rarer than black rhino. But now, European bison are making a comeback. To keep their huge bodies running over winter, they resort to eating woody shrubs and tree bark. It's not a very nutritious diet. After a long winter, fat reserves are waning. Some will not make it. And those foolish enough to head off on their own may find themselves face to face with one of the world's most notorious predators. Wolves. A strong pack will happily take on a bison. No wonder the herd is skittish. At the very end of winter, the high peaks remain frozen, but lower down, the great melt has begun. Spring is on its way, and some residents are already beginning to awake from their winter slumber. And amongst those stepping into this warming, waking world is one of the Carpathian Mountains' newest residents. Born during hibernation, this cub's mother has lost up to 40% of her body weight, nursing it in the den. At first, the mother will not let her cub wander far from home. But there's plenty of time to play. This young male is at a much lower altitude, and for good reason. He knows how to take advantage of the little on offer at this time of year. Male brown bears roam across thousands of square kilometers searching for food. But the key to survival is knowing where to look. And this is a bear with a plan. His prize is at the top of this pine tree. Young brown bears are great tree climbers. Their paws are the size of dinner plates, and claws as long as human fingers. The pine trees also have amazing adaptations. They have a conical shape to shed snow, sap with added antifreeze, and narrow waxy needles they don't lose in autumn. And these remarkable trees also produce oil-rich seeds early in the growing season. And these provide fast calories for young, hungry bears. Bears are complete generalists when it comes to food. They will eat everything from plant roots to young deer. But there's one creature that's precisely adapted to feed on pine trees. It's the crossbill. This is the only bird in the world with the lower and upper parts crossing over when the bill is closed. It looks unnatural, but it's perfectly designed to prise open young pine cones. A long, flexible tongue then removes the seeds inside. The evolutionary benefit of this becomes clear at breeding time. With access to good resources early in spring, crossbills produce chicks before any other bird. In the battle for survival, getting ahead of all the other hungry creatures is a massive advantage. For those who've had to wait, forests across Europe are finally beginning to burst into life. As the sun warms the frigid soil, life begins to emerge. Forest floors are soon carpeted in flowers. For broadleaf trees, preparation for spring began in autumn. They have been waiting for just the right number of cold days and enough long, dark nights before sparking their buds into life. Great oaks become green giants once again. The cycle of growth restarts in Europe's green heart. In the Carpathian mountains, it's not just bears that have been hibernating. The arrival of spring awakens other creatures from their slumber. It's time to get busy. This huge mound in the middle of a pine forest is not the den of some large animal, but the nest of the most numerous insect on Earth. The ant. These wood ant colonies send out relentless raiding parties to gather food. By autumn, there could be 250,000 mouths to feed. Tiny they may be, but wood ants have vast numbers, amazing organization, collective intelligence, and huge strength. Dissecting a hard-shelled beetle over 5 times their size is not a problem. However, it's a sugar-rich sap called honeydew that actually provides most of the colony's food. And it comes from an unusual source: aphids. These tiny bugs, feeding on the pine trees, secrete honeydew, which the ants collect. It's a symbiotic relationship. In return for this energy bonanza, the ants protect the aphids against predators of all sizes. And they have a unique method for doing this: firing formic acid at them. Around the Mediterranean are a swathe of dry, evergreen forests. Spain has some of the most unique. The cork and holm oak forests here create habitats like nothing else in Europe. These ancient woodlands are a mosaic, punctuated by patches of grassland, woody shrubs, and blankets of aromatic herbs. Soils are poor, and while spring can bring intense rain, summer can mean long droughts. Life has evolved to fit these conditions, this cycle of boom and bust. Cork and holm oaks have small leaves that are replaced steadily, not in one energy-sapping effort. Many creatures have developed remarkable strategies to conserve energy. One thing is clear: to survive here, you've got to be tough. The humble rabbit. One of the world's most successful species. They are a vital part of the Mediterranean food chain. A rabbit's digestive system is perfectly designed to extract scarce nutrients from dry vegetation and turn it into protein, which enables them to breed rapidly. They produce over 20 kits a year. And rabbits are so efficient that a nutritious placenta is not going to be wasted. In under 30 days, these kits will leave their mother. And in 3 months, they will be ready to breed themselves. It's a natural production line, and it supports around 40 Mediterranean predators, including the seldom-seen mongoose, and one of the rarest cats on the planet. There are only around 300 Iberian lynx in the wild. And their survival is inextricably linked to the rabbit, which makes up around 80% of its diet. These two species are locked in an evolutionary battle. Always alert, rabbits have developed big, highly sensitive ears to detect predators. But lynx evolved their own acute hearing. they can hear a rabbit's muffled footsteps many meters away. And they've the instincts of a killer. Just like the taiga, their close relative. Lynx crush the throat, killing like most big cats. Spain's rabbits were devastated by epidemics. But if numbers can increase once more, the most iconic Iberian predator will thrive again. Hidden on the forest floor, there's a far more ancient species of hunter waiting in the dark. This grasshopper has overwintered as an egg, hidden in the soil. So far, it has beaten the odds. But the floor of a Mediterranean forest is no place for a juicy insect. Venomous snakes slither through the grass. Scorpions hunt in the undergrowth. And a silent killer lurks below ground. This is a trapdoor spider. The species has remained unchanged for millions of years. Like its relative, the tarantula, it's an ambush hunter. And it constructs a lair like nothing else in the natural world. Perfectly camouflaged, the trapdoor is woven from silk, soil, and vegetation. It's hinged on one side for a rapid exit. These lurking hunters are prepared to wait for months for prey to come close. Grasshoppers use camouflage as defense, hoping predators won't see them. But this hunter works on vibrations. The grasshopper is wandering into a loaded trap. Powerful jaws and large downward-facing fangs means there's no chance of escape. The trapdoor may now stay closed for months. In the time it could take for the spider to feed again, another marvel of the Mediterranean could have lived its entire adult life cycle. This caterpillar could become one of the most beautiful creatures in Europe. But it's a big, juicy meal for all kinds of predators. Its only protection is to look and smell unappetizing, with bright orange patches and glands that emit a smell like rotten pineapples if anything gets too close. Birds take no notice, however. And mainly because of them, less than 5% of larvae will make it to the final stage, when they undergo a remarkable metamorphosis. It grows a chrysalis around itself. Over weeks, tissue, limbs, and organs are transformed. And what emerges is a swallowtail butterfly. For a few minutes, it pumps fluid into its new wings as they dry and unfurl. Before it reveals protruding tails that give one of Europe's biggest butterflies its name. And then, a leap of faith. This delicate creature has only a few weeks to live. Life is now all about filling up on nectar and flying into the arms of a mate. The short summer has arrived in the Finnish taiga forest, just below the Arctic Circle. The taiga is a narrow band of spruce, pine, larch, and birch that stretches from Scandinavia right around the planet. It's the world's largest wilderness and makes up a quarter of our planet's tree cover. Forget about the Amazon. These are the lungs of the world, and they pump out millions of tons of oxygen every day. This far north, winters are harsh and long. Many creatures have had little to eat other than lichen, moss, and pine needles. But by midsummer, the sun shines almost 24 hours a day, and the taiga blooms. Trillions of insects take to the air. blueberries cover the forest floor. They are a staple food for many animals this time of year. And a special favorite of bears, who can consume carpets of them in a single sitting. They have only a few months to prepare themselves before the long winter returns. These cubs emerged from their den in May and are growing rapidly in size and confidence. Curious and endlessly inquisitive, they are learning the lessons they need to survive. The next stage in their education is a bug hunt. Their mother is going to show them how a rotten log can provide a nutritious and tasty meal. Some cubs get it quickly. Others are more interested in playing. But this mother not only has to teach her youngsters how to find food any way she can, she must also protect them from danger. And the greatest threat can come from their own kind. It's the end of the breeding season, and males can be unpredictable. They have been known to kill cubs to bring mothers back into season, pursuing them for days in order to mate. Playtime is over. It's time to go. A large male brown bear can weigh over 250 kilos. But they are not the biggest beast in the taiga. That title goes to the moose, which stand over 2 meters tall, with antlers almost as wide. They have survived the winter on a meager diet of pine, spruce needles, and twigs. Now they need to rapidly build up their fat reserves to survive the next winter. So once the thousands of lakes in the taiga are ice-free, moose take the plunge. They are excellent swimmers and can close their nostrils underwater. This unique adaptation enables them to dive down to get the mineral-rich aquatic plants. And capitalize on a nutritious resource out of reach to most. But for some, this summer bounty comes too late. Wolves and bears aren't always a moose's biggest threat. An old moose can pay a heavy price for winter starvation. But this is an opportunity for many other creatures. Ravens get half their food scavenging carcasses. These long-lived creatures are amongst the most intelligent birds in the world. They live in complex societies and can communicate detailed messages with up to 30 types of call. Older males and their lifelong partners have first pick at the carcass. Juveniles are usually submissive, but if they break ranks and try to eat before their elders, they are quickly put in their place. White-tailed sea eagles can also see an opportunity here. They are 300 kilometers from the sea, but find a good summer living scavenging in the taiga. Despite their imposing stature, they are cautious birds and always wait until the ravens have started eating to be sure there are no threats around. And all these birds are smart enough to know they are not at the top of the pecking order at this carcass. This huge male has picked up the scent of a free meal. Plants, fruit and berries usually make up 80 to 90% of a bear's diet. But this far north, bears have developed a taste for moose flesh. Like everything else here, bears need to pile on the pounds during summer and autumn if they're going to make it through the winter. They are not going to pass up easy calories. And he is not alone. A 100 years ago, wolves were almost extinct in Europe. Now, they are a conservation success story. In summer, some wolf packs kill a moose every couple of days. And they have tried and tested strategies for dealing with bears who get between them and a good feed. They work as a team. Harass and harry. Attack from opposite directions. And never let their opponents settle. Even for a massive old male, these wolves pose a risk. The smallest of wounds can get infected. If this leads to immobility, death is inevitable. Finally, he has had enough. A bit of a free meal is better than no free meal at all. Now in control of the carcass, the wolves retreat to the woods with their prize. The short summer race to feed and breed can be brutal. When the biggest beasts of the taiga are battling it out, sometimes the safest place to be is the top of a tree. Weighing around 300 grams, red squirrels are light enough to reach the tallest, thinnest branches. This allows them to exploit all the food in the forest. They will eat everything, from bark to mushrooms. Double-jointed ankles and long claws allow them to race up and down branches and spin around tree trunks. And they can leap 6 meters between trees. These animals left their mothers a few weeks ago, and they have a lot to learn. Wagging the tail like this is a sign of nervousness. They are so skittish, the slightest movement sends them off. And in summer, these teenagers can't resist a game of chase. These games are good practice for battles yet to come. In a year or so, these playful young squirrels will have to fight for territories of their own. Although some are already happy to make a stand. Autumn brings a riot of colour across Europe. In the beech forests of the Carpathians, this is the peak time for mushrooms. Thousands of fungi are associated with beech trees. Some are parasitic. Others work for the tree's benefit, supplying it with nutrients and minerals. Brown beech leaves will stay on the trees until spring. This is called marcescence. It's thought that dead, dry leaves make twigs and buds less palatable to deer, moose, and bison. The beech has another trick up its sleeve. Before winter, it delivers a fatty bounty to the forest floor. Beech nuts provide a massive calorie boost to tiny, fast-living rodents like hazel dormice. If they're going to survive their winter hibernation, they need to have almost doubled their weight over summer. In the Carpathian mountains, the first snows are only a few weeks away. Soon the red deer will move down the mountain for the winter. But right now, all the stags care about is being seen and heard. This is the time of the rut. These mountains are home to the largest red deer in the world, some nearly 2 meters tall and over 200 kilos. There will be no mercy for lightweights. For most of the year, red deer stags roam in bachelor herds. Relations are friendly. But during the rut, it's every man for himself. This male has a rival. Once antlers and size have been assessed, the pair launch into bloody battle. These intense fights last only a few minutes, but can be fatal. Full of hormones that give them an unquenchable desire to breed, it's a risk most males are willing to take. Once the rut begins, the fighting continues on and off for around 4 weeks. Winter is close in the taiga. Nighttime temperatures are already dropping near to zero. For this young family of bears, it's almost time to hibernate. The cubs have beaten the odds. They are fat and healthy, but not yet ready to leave their mother. Right now, they are eating around the clock, piling on the pounds to survive the winter. In the coming days, their mother will show them how to excavate a den, often under tree roots or in an abandoned burrow. Gathered together for warmth on a bed of moss and leaves, they'll sleep through the tough times of little food. Like every creature living in Europe's green heart, bears have developed an excellent strategy to deal with the seasons. The cycle of warm following cold, of plenty coming after barren months, governs the behavior of life in Europe's forests. In every niche, some amazing adaptations have evolved to help creatures beat the odds. Europe's green heart is full of surprises. Mediterranean forests contain one of the world's rarest felines. The continent's most amazing ambush hunter is a spider. And hidden in the mountains, iconic bison live alongside the world's most successful pack predator. Europe's green heart is diverse and thriving. All living things here have learnt to live through the harshest of times. And then, when it arrives, make the most of nature's bounty.